Tonight on Property Banter, is your house ugly enough to be Insta-famous? Agent commissions causing suspicions, and flying Uber set to transform your city. Hello, I'm Tom Baring, coming to you from the Rate My Agent offices, which is about due for a paint job, I think. But joining me on the panel, as usual, is Mark Armstrong, CEO and founder of Rate My Agent, buyer's advocate from Beckett Property, Tabitha Robb, and Russell Cambridge from Biggin & Scott, Richmond. How's everyone's week going so far? How's your week, Mark?
Fantastic week. I got a big announcement. Big announcement.
You got a new jumper?
Tell us.
No, we've had a monster week here at Rate My Agent. Something like that. 500,000 reviews have now been posted on Rate My Agent. It's
very good.
It only took us 4 years to get there, but a big result.
Half a mil.
We now $500,000.
Where's that sales bell? The sale people always ring.
There we go.
But how was your week?
Father's Day yesterday, beautiful, got treated very well. 4 very colourful socks.
Socks.
T-shirt and a wind cheater.
Show us.
Show
You wearing them?
Get your gear on.
Look how flexible you
Look
are.
at that.
Look at that, number one dad.
How was your week?
Well, I didn't get new socks, unfortunately. I didn't get 500,000 reviews, unfortunately. But I did have some great wins for some clients on the weekend. And actually part of one of my passion projects at the moment, Pick My Project, which you should all vote for me at Pick My Project.
What's Pick My Project?
It's basically a government grant that I've applied for to start an online platform that acts as Tinder between volunteers and charities. A bit strange, but it's
For volunteers who
Called-
want to
It's called
go
Rate
on
My
Tinder
Volunteer.
Anyway, go to Pick My Project, enter Richmond 3121 and vote for damn good help.
How's your week been, Tommy?
It was Father's Day, and I've got, obviously different kids, different mums, got to do a lot of running around, and the traffic was terrible, which acts as a fantastic segue to this. Because Uber is doing flying cars, which is huge. I'm a sci-fi man. And so the flying cars are coming, literally flying cars. You can get a flying car. Look at it, look at it, look at that. Soaring over Melbourne within 5 years, with Uber set to trial its congestion-busting aerial passenger service.
What impact does that have on real estate, do you think?
You're going to have to build something on top of a lot of these tower blocks.
Imagine doing a Macca's run. Like, I'm going to helicopter, I'm starving.
On the way, can you get my Uber Eats?
It's on the way. Every week, the Daily News churns out articles on the real estate industry, and we'll tell you whether or not we think they're clickbait or worthy of a rate. If our panellists rate an article, they'll swipe right, and if not, left. Are you ready, panel?
Ready.
Ready.
First headline. Allowing pets in rentals. Barking mad.
I think that pets should be allowed in rental properties.
All
Within
rental
reason.
properties?
I think all rental properties.
All rental properties, you're going to allow pets in, eh?
Well, I think Tabitha hit the nail on the head. Within reason.
It should be your prerogative to say, no, I'm not a dog person, I don't want dogs in my house. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
I think kids are worse than pets.
Well, I
wouldn't allow
agree
them
with
in my
that.
house either.
I do. I would. Like, if they weren't mine, I like my kids, but other kids I can't stand.
They make out that all landlords are these rich, noble aristocracy that have got millions of properties. Most rental properties are owned by mums and dads who are just saving up, as has been encouraged by governments over the years, to get an investment property because pensions aren't going to be around, super's not going to cover all your costs and everything, to get a rental property, and they are actually attached emotionally to their properties. Why should they do something that they don't necessarily want? So I disagree with this. It should be up to the landlord to approve it.
What about someone, working animals are okay?
Yeah.
So
That's what it says in the legislation.
So they're allowed to do that.
Can't be rejected.
So, do we rate it?
Absolutely right. Allowing.
So you're right. You agree with that? It's barking man to have a pet. You're going right.
Oh yeah, I'm
Tabitha?
going right.
No, I'm left.
Next headline. Buying property with others is fraught with danger.
I think it can be, definitely. It depends who you're buying with and what discussions you've had to pre-frame the buying in and the buying out and the getting out clause. I think it can be really good though.
I think it goes into that old saying again about jumping into bed and getting out of bed with someone. I
Save your creepy antidotes some for another time, Mark. With your tiny jumper and your strange antidotes.
Yeah, you're going to be alone a very long time with that jumper on.
I think it is fraught with danger, but it does work. I mean,
It can work.
I bought my first property when I was 18 years old, and I bought that with my brother. We went halvies in it, and the commitment we made to each other, we couldn't have bought individually. It was impossible. But you're talking sort of, how old was I? 20 years old or so?
Single?
Right? I was single.
Wearing that jumper?
Well, that was why I was single. And now that I'm happily married, I don't care what my wife says.
Russell, what do you think?
Oh, keep doing it. I love people buying property with others because it feeds us. Do you know how many of these end up in tears and gives us commission and sales? Keep doing it. This is fantastic.
So you obviously agree.
Absolutely. Yeah, one party gets married, falls in love, has children, has to sell that one to buy the next family home. It's fraught with dangers. Yet the other one who's single and ugly and wearing that jumper can't find a partner. They don't want to sell and you go, oh, you've left me out in the lurch. Too bad. I need the money. It's selling. It happens all the time. So keep it up, Mark.
I think a lot of
others.
communities do this well, actually, to sort of get each other into the property market and do what you said, helping, you know, you and your brother get into the property market. I think it can work really well.
Communities is very popular, Greek community, Vietnamese community, but guess what? They're not immune from these fraught with dangers. Seen it time and time again. All of them can end up in tears.
I think we all agree it's fraught with danger. I'm a ride on this.
We all agree?
But don't stop doing it because Russell makes a
Selfishly.
lot of money out of it.
Can we all
Right,
do it,
but
can we all do
don't
it
stop
together
doing
then?
it.
So that's
Right.
Ready? Yeah, that's good. Borkham Hills neighbours join forces hoping to sell 26 houses for more than $60 million. Mark, you want to give us the background on this?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is just a group of people saying that if they put all their houses together, there's a big block of land that they can sell to developers and get a lot more. There's a couple of problems with it. First of all, you have to get everyone to agree. There is a famous case in Camberwell where Mary Ann Campergill, she took the council to court. They wanted to acquire her property, and she fought them in court. And then the Safeway car park was built. Oh, here it is here. Here's the Safeway car park in Camberwell. She refused to sell, probably worked to her detriment in this situation. And when she died, they eventually bought the house, the council bought the house and bulldozed it. But I think it shows that you really need to get everyone to agree. Therein lies the problem, in that people put different values on their houses and the emotional attachment they have to their houses, so it's very hard to get them to agree.
Well, I think there's actually two neighbours in the block in Sydney that we were talking about originally that don't want to sell. So that's sort of awkward for that developer.
There was one here in the city of Yarra where I think there were 6 properties in a row. They all agreed to sell. The negotiations happened and they agreed on a price. And pretty much at the 11th hour, one of the parties says, you know what, I want more. And he held the rest to ransom and it all fell apart.
Yeah.
You're a left, Russell?
Left.
Left?
Yep, I'm a left.
Spring. The time of year where blossoms bloom, young lovers love, and Russell rediscovers a treadmill in the garage and says to his wife, what kind of lawnmower is this? But more importantly, it's the beginning of the Property Tycoon spring season. Hit us.
That was really funny.
Thank you.
So, Property Tycoon, first week of the spring season, $5,000 prize. I'm talking up all the good things first because Jason Street, East Burwood didn't sell. The agent's still negotiating. Under Property Tycoon rules, if it sells by midnight Wednesday, it's still included. But let's throw to the leaderboard, the overall leaderboard. Chris 2JZ. Chris has won gold class movie tickets. Let's throw to the Property Banter leaderboard and see who... see who's winning. Tommy!
Yes!
Tommy! Tommy is the only person that got a tip right this week.
You need to put the necklace on first.
Putting it all on.
The so-called real estate experts on the panel
You losers!
didn't win anything. And
Hang
Tommy's,
on, but we've still got 2 more days for
matter.
ours to sell.
Ours could sell, but at this stage, Tommy is leading. What's the story with your profile picture? Can you?
My little sister Sophie Baring, she hates that photo. She hates the fact it's ever surfaced, and she's not going to speak to me for a year after I put that as my display picture. But I'm a king now, and I'm not scared of my sister.
What are your secrets?
My secrets? You want to come to the king for his secrets? The king will tell you
You're more
everything.
like the Mad Hatter.
You can have a look right here. I've got this theory, right?
Wow.
Recurring numbers.
Recurring numbers. It's a long season, Tommy.
Well,
Kudos
Exactly.
to you. And
it's a bit long, and I can hear you behind me trying to panting to keep up, Mark. So that's
okay, so this week
Tell us.
we've got another property, a property in Richmond, which I understand we know the auctioneer very well.
Oh, yeah.
Unit 6 at 190 Lennox Street in Richmond. What do you think? Do we have an approximate price range?
Look, I think we've got interest in the mid-5s. It may go...
Is it a one better?
Yes.
Okay.
Bids on now.
We will put our bids in now. Go to the App Store, download the app. A weekly prize again next week. As you can see, the competition's not that fierce if Tommy's up on the
Extremely
leaderboard.
fierce.
So you
want
still have a
proof.
chance to win $5,000.
Each week, Tabitha takes a look at architectural highlights and lowlights from around the world, from your Frank Lloyd rights to your Frank Lloyd oh-so-wrongs. Tabitha, what's got your Pinterest pingin'?
Well, it's not Pinterest, it's actually Instagram. There's this amazing Instagram page that you should all follow called Ugly Houses Melbourne. The owner actually comments on each house saying what's ugly about it. So let's have a look. I love a good set square garage.
I like that.
Is it a garage or a house we're looking at?
It's
Is
an
that an
optical illusion.
The next one.
Look at the power lines.
That'd add value, wouldn't
Well,
it?
actually, the caption of this
Just
one
think
is
about how-
How's the Serenity?
How's the Serenity?
Very houses surrounding
boom,
that.
boom.
I like that.
Don't forget, you've got till June 30 to make your house giraffe ready.
Giraffe ready.
You're kidding. I didn't see the giraffe.
Get your dad a power plug above the door for Father's Day.
What the hell is that? What makes someone design that?
Oh, I like that.
Elvis has left the building, but he has left his leather belt buckle.
I like that.
I
It's
don't-
grand.
Don't you hate it when you get to the garage and you've lost your keys in the top turret?
The Tudor window.
Real estate agent commissions. While those little bastards usually charge between 2 and 3% of the sale price, tiered commission arrangements and flat rate free agencies have also entered the market. So what's fair, what's unfair, and what's a downright rip-off?
Look, I think tiered incentive, what they call incentive structures can work, but sometimes can be really unfair, and you've just got to make sure you're making the right decision and doing your figures.
As a rule, I'm not a fan of tiering agent commission. The reason being is I think if you choose the right agent should be working to sell your house for as much as possible and shouldn't. I don't think they should need incentive to try and get more.
It's not something I'd suggest either, but I do think that some vendors actually like it. I don't know why, but they've done their spreadsheet and they think it works out better for them.
You hit the nail on the head, Tabitha. Most incentive-based commissions are really designed and put in place by the vendor. It's something that they want. They might be the accountant or a lawyer, and they decided that will make the agent work harder, and that's usually why they're about. I'll take them on, but I'm happy to do flat commission rates as well.
And it can go pear-shaped. There's this recent story of a 93-year-old woman in Beaumaris who was charged an $81,000 commission when her property had a runaway auction, which was great for her. It was expected to sell for $1.25 million, and the house actually sold for $1,385, with the agent taking 50% of the commission above that price point. So that's where it can really not work.
50% over a certain figure is excessive, and I think there might be a little bit to be said about their recommended reserve at the time. If you can't prove that the commission you're charging is in keeping with what you generally and normally charge, then it is avoidable commission. This guy deserved to lose his commission as far as I'm concerned.
But 2.2%, that's what he was going underneath the threshold. Is 2.2 standard? What is
Yes,
standard
fine.
across the board?
That's fine. It was 50% over the
50%
so-called
over, but-
reserve.
This is the thing about real estate is that the higher the property value, the more an agent gets paid, which is great. It means that they're in line. But it often means that, you know, if you've got a really valuable piece of real estate, the commission should come down a little bit, you know. If you've got a $300,000 to $500,000 property, then, you know, a 2 to 2.5% commission's fine. But if you're selling a $5 million property, you know, a 2% commission is $100,000, which is unreasonable.
I tell you what else should be in place as well. You shouldn't be negotiating your commission after a sale has started to be negotiated. It should have been in writing beforehand. Quite often agents park the commission or ask their vendor later on, closer to the time of the auction, if not during the auction, for their bonuses. That's not on. It's got to be in place before the transaction is starting to be negotiated.
These are the things that absolutely need to be stamped out of the industry.
What they should do is get onto Rate My Agent and compare them all.
Good plug, Russell. I like where you're going with it.
Last week we took a look at how it only takes 5 days to become a qualified real estate agent. This week, a peek into the future dealing with these 5-day flunkies. Let's take a look.
Right, do come outside, for this is in fact the outside. This is the exterior of the property. You are no longer in the building. Let me show you a few things here. That's a lantern there. Now at night that attracts moths. It's very useful if you enjoy spitting at insects. I know I do. I pass a lot of time that way. It has a thatched roof.
Sorry, is the thatch difficult to maintain?
I don't know. And now these are tables and these are chairs.
What is the age of the property?
I don't know. If you'd like to walk slightly to the west of the property, it's a gable end there, do you see? And at the top of it peeping out you can see the chimneys. They're made of stone, yeah, and they're outside the building, which means the smoke escapes into the world rather than the house.
Oh, I see. Does the house come with fixtures and fittings included?
I don't know. Now if we could just continue up this pathway, for it is a pathway. Do you see, you feel it under your feet?
What is the age of the property?
I don't know. This is a variegated leaf. Okay, it's slightly weaker at the edges. It takes over 10 months for that to be produced from seed. Isn't that incredible? That's a big thanks to God on high. I think you'll agree.
The banana was the entire damn industry. Small hands, bastards. And that's your show for this week. Don't forget, we want you to get on the banter. Any clips, story suggestions, just send them in. Thanks, Tabitha, Russell, Mark. See you next time.
Russell felt very awkward then.
Have a great week.